Welcome, guys. Episode 1, Fantasy Football Focus with Kasey and friends. I am your host, Kasey Coleman. Joining me today are my friends, Steve and Alex. Gentlemen, how are we today?
Doing pretty good.
I'm doing well, Kasey. Thanks for letting me be your friend today.
Yeah, guys, excited for you to be here. This weekly show is connected to League of Ordinary Gentlemen Fantasy Football League on Yahoo. Basically, we're going to come out with an episode every week focusing on the previous matchups and taking a look at the upcoming matchups for that week. Obviously, we don't have any matchups yet. We don't even have our teams yet. The draft is coming this Sunday. So we thought we'd take a quick minute to browse through every team's keepers and get some insights. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Let's go.
All right, we're going to start with the last place team, work our way up to the first place team. So first team, not a lucky duck. 3 keepers, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin. Do either of you have any thoughts on these 3?
I think Metcalf, that's a good keep. I feel like he's going to have another breakthrough season. Like, especially, like all the rumors about Russell Wilson this season and like being disgruntled. I feel like one of the big reasons he was disgruntled was because of the lack of offense. But
sure,
Metcalf was probably one of those solid people that he could rely on heavily. Yeah. And I feel like so far it doesn't seem like they haven't had, other than like obviously like Tyler Lockett and like players like that, they don't have any really like solid receivers. So sure. I feel like Metcalf's going to be a solid start for not a lucky duck.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember who it was.
Not a lucky duck copied my team name last year because my lucky duck team was getting lucky and he was like, I'm not getting lucky. So
he did. Alex, any thoughts on this team?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I know last year he was like a late first round pick because he's the RB1 for the Chiefs. So the question is, will he do amazing this year? Will he do kind of like last year where he never really got off the ground and was great? He has crazy potential because of this situation, and I guess that's what we're waiting to see, what happens with him.
Yeah, definitely with you. Touching quickly on Godwin. Godwin was hurt a lot last year. If healthy, paired with Mike Evans in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense, could have a decent year. We shall see. Again, got to stay healthy. Moving on to Steve's keepers, actually. Steve's 3 keepers, Patrick Mahomes, George Kittle, Jonathan Taylor. Alex, we'll start with you and then jump to Steve on his thoughts on his team.
Well, it's nice to have Kittle, the tight end. Is he the second ranked tight end this year or third?
2.
Yeah, I was thinking him or Waller, but
Kelce, Kittle, and then Waller, I believe.
Okay, you gotta like having a top 1 or 2 quarterback and tight end. So Steve has that. So congratulations, and you also have the second overall pick.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel like with my keepers, I feel like Mahomes is going to have another good year. I know last year towards the end he kind of struggled a little bit, but I feel like his upside is going to be pretty big, and because he is such a good like scramble thrower, like I feel like he's going to have some pretty good plays this year, some pretty big plays. George Kittle, like you said, it's always nice to have a top 2 tight end and a top 2 quarterback. It'll be interesting to see how he does this year with kind of the mix-up for the 49ers with having Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. That'll probably both be playing in tandem to a degree. I know for Garoppolo, Kittle's a solid receiver, so he likes to lean towards him or Deebo Samuel, but we'll see how that goes this year. Jonathan Taylor, solid running back. I know he kind of had a weird season last year, but there's a lot of talk of his potential, and I feel like this could be a good year for him to live up to it. So,
yes. Inside, I hope not, because I traded him to you, but for your sake, I hope he has a big year. I traded him to you for Todd Gurley, who's currently not on an NFL team. So if that shows you how desperate I was, really desperate. Anyways, moving on. Third team, let Russ cook. 3 keepers, Christian McCaffrey, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I'll leave Ayuk for Steve since he's a Niners fan. But CMC sticks out as a great way to start. Obviously, is he the RB1? He's probably the top pick in most drafts. So he's kind of like a cheat code. I know he was injured a bit last year. Hopefully, he's healthy this year, and was a big contributor to let Russ cook.
Steve, thoughts on Brandon Ayuk?
Oh yeah, I think that's a good pick. I think last year with his his rookie season, I feel like he lived up to the hype that surrounded him. Solid receiver, can run. I think him and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle had like three of the top 10 like yards after catch receivers. So it'll be interesting to see like how he does this year. I think again with having that QB situation for the Niners, I feel like there's a lot of upside for him. And then also with I feel like he'll be solid. And then I think Christian McCaffrey, solid running back, definitely like Alex said, definitely top start. So
Yeah, third keeper DeAndre Hopkins, great option for the Cardinals. Obviously, Kyler Murray is on the higher end of the QB side. To have your number one wide receiver be DeAndre Hopkins is another great keeper there for that team. So, moving team number 4, steal your number one fantasy. 3 keepers: Saquon Barkley, Calvin Ridley, Justin Herbert.
Well,
I think.
Go ahead.
I think Saquon Barkley, it's a solid start if he can stay healthy this year. I know last year he got taken out for a good chunk of the season, but from the playing time that we saw, he did pretty good. Justin Herbert, another solid quarterback. I feel like he's fairly underrated for what he can do. I think he's going to do a lot more for the Chargers this year. It'll be interesting to see how he plays.
And then Ridley, I had him in my other league last year, and he was doing really good. I just needed a running back, and I made the mistake of trading him because he just continued and got better. And then this year they lose Julio Jones. So, does that mean that other teams will focus more on Ridley because there's no Jones, or will he do better because he'll have more targets? Either way, Ridley's definitely a good keeper, and I think he'll do well this year.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Ridley stepped up big. No Julio Jones. Obviously, they drafted Kyle Pitts, tight end, I believe, in the top 10. So they're pretty high on him in their offense. But Ridley could have another big year. Moving right along, Team Yinzers. 3 keepers: Nick Chubb, Ezekiel Elliott, Chase Claypool.
Well, Nick Chubb, definitely a solid running back, end around one, probably. Elliott last year was a struggle. I didn't have money in my teams, but I remember playing against him and being excited to play against him. That's kind of crazy with how good he was. And then last year, and I don't think he was really injured, but he just struggled for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then Claypool, he did amazing for a few weeks, and then they have so many weapons down there that, is there going to be enough touches for him? They got the new running back. They got Juju. They got Deontay Johnson, whoever the tight ends are, Vance McDonald maybe. But, it has potential, and I think the big thing will be seeing how Zeke does, seeing how he bounces back.
Yeah. Steve?
Yeah. Speaking of that Ezekiel Elliott thing, I feel like last year was a weird year for him. Obviously, like Alex said, like he wasn't injured that much, but it seemed like he had a lot of stuff going on in his life, and sometimes that spills over into how you play. So it'll be interesting to see how he bounces back this year, to see if he can kind of return to his old form or if he kind of trends downward.
Yeah, I think you guys hit everything on the head. Interesting. Zeke will definitely be one of those people to watch and see whether he trends up or trends down this coming year. Next team, one of our 2 new managers. Their team name is Murray Jacobs McLaren, so I'll let you guess who their 3 keepers are. Kyler Murray, Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaren. Gentlemen, thoughts on those 3?
Kyler Murray, obviously solid QB. I think he's done amazing things with the Cardinals, even though they're in the Niners division. Uh, but great player all around. Yeah, I think that's a solid keep.
I actually had all these players in one or two of my leagues last year. McLaren did really well. However, they have kind of a inconsistent quarterback situation over there. They had Dwayne Haskins, and they kept on shuffling in a bunch of backups for him. Maybe he'll have more consistency this year with Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs, the third one on this team. Kind of a question mark. They added Kenyon Drake coming over from the Cardinals, so we'll see if that takes away opportunities for Jacobs. Again, Raiders are such a weird team. We'll see what happens, but could be a good pick, could be a bad pick, kind of like Zeke. We'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to our second new manager, team name Little G's. 3 keepers: Stephon Diggs, Darren Waller, Miles Sanders.
Yeah, man, Stephon Diggs, man, if he can repeat this year, he's going to be a solid keep. Like, he had a solid season for the Vikings last year, and his upside was huge. Like, I think at one point he was.
Stephon Diggs is on the Bills, Steve.
Oh, whoops, sorry. Wrong.
He used to be on. When did he get traded? Was that off season?
2 years ago, I believe.
He was on the Vikings.
That's what I meant to say. The Bills.
He was on the Vikings. Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
We'll just edit that part out. Shows you how much I pay attention though.
It's all right. Keep going. You were on a roll.
Yeah, he's solid player. He's got a lot of upside. He'll do good.
Man, I think Waller's a great keeper. I remember playing against him last year, I think, and he had like 15 catches. Probably destroyed me that week, but definitely he would be right there with Kittle in my mind for tight end 2. So that's a good one.
Yeah, Miles Sanders, don't know a lot about. Know that the manager is a big Eagles fan, so he's hoping for big things from Sanders, both in fantasy and in real life. Hoping the Eagles can bounce back. We'll see what happens. Moving on. Next team, North Texas, 3 keepers: Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, C.D. Lamb.
He kept C.D. Lamb because he's a Cowboys fan, right?
He is not a Cowboys fan, contrary to his team name, North Texas. He lives in North Texas. He's actually from here in California. He is not a Cowboys fan. John, I apologize.
He's from Dallas Metro, and he kept C.D. Lamb, so I just assumed.
It's all right. Give me your thoughts on the players.
I kind of wanted C.D. Lamb first round pick, but not available, so that's okay. His running backs, you said Dalvin Cook and Aaron Jones?
That's right.
Yeah, the NFC North's best running backs, definitely good. They're top 12. I mean, Cook's better, but great way to start your team off with those guys.
Totally agree. Yeah. Steve, any thoughts?
Yeah, Dalvin Cook, solid start. He had a great year with the Vikings last year.
True. He's on the Vikings, folks.
I feel like Cousins will probably end up leaning on him a lot more this year too. We'll kind of see how it plays out, but I feel like it'll be a good year for him too. And CeeDee Lamb, always a solid start as well.
He's got Dak for the full year, hopefully. He did really good with Dak, and then Dak left. He got injured. CeeDee Lamb's production dropped.
Yeah, because Andy Dalton sucks. That's why.
Yeah, now Andy Dalton's thrown to my guy.
Anyways, we'll get to Dalton in a second. Coming up next, Team White Castle, 3 keepers: Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Odell Beckham Jr. If you don't know what team he's a fan of, you'll quickly figure it out. Gentlemen, give me your thoughts.
Odell Beckham Jr., obviously a solid receiver. I feel like a lot of teams like to double him up or sometimes even triple him up, so he might not get the yards that some other receivers get, but when he gets the ball, he's a good player. Derrick Henry, obviously a solid running back for the Titans. Had multiple 4 or 5 touchdown games last year. So obviously another solid start.
my thought with for the Vikings with AJ Brown is how is Julio going to affect him?
Vikings with AJ Brown? Why are we on the Vikings? They play on the Titans.
Vikings? The Titans. It's all we've been joking about is the Vikings, so it's in my subconscious.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
Okay,
They're on the Titans, folks. Titans.
Your turn next, Kasey, for the blunder, for the blooper reel. But no, yeah, my thought AJ Brown was their easy wide receiver one, really good. And now they got Julio Jones. So is his production going to dip maybe, or is that going to detract good coverage from AJ Brown? He's going to do better. That's kind of the question in my mind for him, but definitely I think he's a safe pick.
Totally agree. Does not play on the Vikings, though. Moving along to Alex's team. First, we'll start with Steve Stotts, and then we'll go to Alex on his thoughts on his team. 3 keepers, Devonte Adams, Allen Robinson, Keenan Allen. Quick note, the only team to not keep at least one running back on their team. Steve, give me your thoughts on those 3 wide receivers.
All righty. Well, Allen Robinson, it's going to be hard for him to get any yards this year because he's got dandy Andy Dalton there. But let's just be honest. The Bears are going to really be hoping that their run game's good. Actually, I'm just kidding. I feel like Andy Dalton will probably end up getting injured and then Justin Fields will play, which he seems from the preseason seems to be a solid quarterback. So on that note, I feel like if Dalton gets out of the way, I feel like he'll do decent. And then who are the other 2 again?
Devonte Adams and Keenan Allen.
Devonte Adams. I feel like in the offseason, the Packers tried to create a little team reunion by bringing Randall Cobb back, and there's rumors they might try to bring Clay Matthews back too. But yeah, I feel like Adams is going to have another solid year. Last year, obviously, he was like top wide receiver, so I feel like he's got that potential there still. And then Keenan Allen, I feel like he's going to have a solid year too. Yeah.
Alex, quick thought. What is your thoughts behind 3 wide receivers, no running backs?
Right. Well, just kind of looking at my team, I didn't have that running back that I was like, this is a top 30 guy. I mean, I have a couple that are kind of borderline, maybe top 30, but yeah, I just decided to stick with the wide receivers. I have to keep Devonte Adams, obviously. Keenan Allen and Allen Robinson are kind of around the same area. But my thoughts are Keenan has Justin Herbert. They're going to grow. It's going to be a second year. I kind of got to roll with that. And Allen Robinson, he's always had trash QBs, no offense to them. But that's what, they haven't been good quarterbacks. That's what everybody says. So they're like, Dolphins, is he an upgrade over Trubisky, And Robinson has always had good stats, though he's not on a good team. So, yeah, he was obviously my 3rd keeper, debating him or a running back, but we'll hope it turns out well in Chicago.
That's right. 2 teams left, the 2 teams that battled it out in the championship last year. We'll start with my team, the loser of the championship last year. My 3 keepers, Travis Kelce, Antonio Gibson, Justin Jefferson. Gentlemen, what do you think about my picks?
Kelce sucks, man. Just kidding. He's the best tight end. No, but obviously Kelce, that's great. You don't have to think about tight ends. Streaming tight ends kind of sucks, trying to find somebody every week. And then you have Gibson and Justin Jefferson. Gibson, I either had him or I wanted to have him in my other league. And he did really good the first half of the year, then he got injured. Turf toe, and I was like, man, he's going to be a good guy to try to get this year because, he did so great, and then he just got injured, and then he came back at the very tail end of the season and, was just trying to get back into it. I think he's going to finish maybe a tight end 8 to 12. So, sorry, running back 8 to 12. Not for the Vikings, though, for the Washington football team. But I do like that pick of Gibson.
Yeah, I feel like Travis Kelce, obviously solid pick, number 1 tight end in the league.
I think he'll have another good year. Gibson, like Alex was saying, solid pick. I feel like now that Washington football team's got a new quarterback there, I feel like they're going to try to mix things up, and I feel like he'll be a big part of that. So, yeah, I think he's going to have a solid year too.
Yeah, well, for my team, I hope so. Obviously, hope Jefferson to have another great year like he did last year. A lot of people said he was number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting behind Herbert, so obviously hoping for him to repeat that. Moving on to our final team, our champion from last year, looking to repeat from this year, Uncle Stooge, 3 keepers, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill, Austin Eckler. What do you got?
Alvin Kamara. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
No, you can go ahead.
Alvin Kamara, obviously solid running back, did great things for the Saints last year. It'll be interesting to see, like, with them having a new quarterback, like how he'll play into that and like the offensive strategy there. But like you said, like he's solid running back. I feel like he'll have a lot of upside. And then there was Austin Eckler, and who was the other player?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is a solid keep. I mean, when you've got a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes who can scramble and throw, and is like deadly accurate that way too, you're going to get a lot more receptions that way. So he's going to have a lot of upside next year too. Yeah, good picks.
Yeah, I agree. Really good. Got 2 super solid running backs who catch a lot of passes. Good for the PPR league. Tyreek Hill, he's really good. Plus, he's on. He's exciting. You want to watch him, so it's always fun to have those kind of guys on your team. So, I think he's got some solid keepers there.
Yeah, great. Well, that concludes our 12 teams. Quickly, gentlemen, before we wrap it up, if you had to pick another team that wasn't your own team and take their 3 keepers, what team would that be? Alex, we'll start with you.
I would choose the champion, Uncle Stooge McGauley, Kamara, Eckler, and Tyreek Hill.
Great pick. Steve, who are you leaning towards?
That's actually going to be my pick too. Kamara, Eckler, and the third guy.
Repeat. He's going to repeat. At least he's got the last pick.
That's right. Both of you picking the champs keepers that you want. I'm going a different direction. Going with North Texas, though he's not a Cowboys fan. Going with North Texas, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook, CeeDee Lamb. 2 running backs in the top 8. CeeDee Lamb currently around wide receiver 10, but a lot of people think he could end the year in the wide receiver top 5 area. So that's the team that I would choose. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today. Really excited about the season. Any initial thoughts on the season? What you're looking forward to? What you're hoping for?
I'm excited. Like the fall, obviously, like has its mantras and things that it's famous for and known for. And for me, one of the things I look forward to most, other than the leaves falling off the trees, is football season. So I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. I think we got a solid group this year. Yeah, it'll be a good draft.
I'm looking forward to the draft. It's usually the most fun part of the fantasy season for me, unless I get to the finals and win.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you guys. Excited for the league this year. Added 2 new managers. Both of them are seasoned vets in the fantasy sports world, so excited to add them. Excited to remove the 2 teams that we removed. But overall, looking forward to the draft, looking forward to the season. Gentlemen, we'll do it again next week. Till next time, this is Kasey and friends signing off. Fantasy Football Focus. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.